What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back to yet another League of Legends video. So today we're playing none other than the dual wielding fruit ninja Yone. I absolutely love this champion. He's so amazing to play. He's really freaking fun, and I'm really hoping you guys are gonna enjoy this one. So for today's video, I think you guys are kind of in for a treat because this champ is one of those that you can really hard carry, and there's a super high skill roof on this champion. He's really extremely good if you know how to handle him in the different phases of the game, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. We're only going to be focusing on the macro play, meaning the decision making of how to play the champion in the early, mid, and late game. For those of you who don't already know the mechanics, meaning the combos, abilities, etc., I've left a link to my other video down below which solely focuses on that. But this video will only focus on the macro play of playing the champion. Before we do get too much into everything, then for those of you who are new in here, make sure to go down below, click that subscribe button, join in to our awesome community. And if you haven't already checked out our YouTube memberships, go ahead and do so. They're super awesome and have a lot of cool perks for you guys, because we actually stream right here on YouTube every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. UTC +1. So yeah, I'm hoping to see you guys in there, but without further ado, let's kind of just jump into this game. So I'm going to be using this game as kind of an example to let you guys into my train of thought in terms of how to play Yone in the different phases of the game. So Yone, first of all, let's talk a little bit about his pros and cons, why you really want to pick this champion. So first of all, Yone is a high outplay potential champion, kind of like Yasuo. He has a lot of potential. He is of course also his brother, but he has so much potential to outplay your opponents, which is one of the reasons why he's so freaking fun. The thing with him is that he has a pretty weak early game, mostly because he most commonly will be matched up against let's get this kill. He will mostly be matched up against ranged champions, and for this reason you want to play extremely defensive in the first levels, level 1, 2, 3. And this is generally speaking with this champion, unless you're playing against a melee champion, then what you can do is that you can go ahead and try and poke them using your Q early. But right here, I'll just back out. We don't really need anything from this. It's going to be a pretty fine back. He's taking a lot of damage from this wave, which potentially we could stay in lane. I think we might, just because he lost literally all of his HP. I'm not quite sure what this guy was doing, which is of course awesome for us. We see Warwick top side, so for that reason I know that I'm not in any danger at all. So right here I'm kind of just waiting for him to misstep a little bit, if I can, and we'll just get a little bit of poke. But generally speaking, as soon as you get level 3, what you want to be doing with Yone is you want to start poking your opponent, and you want to do this as much as you can. Basically, whenever your E and W are off cooldown at the same time, or whenever your E is off cooldown, then you want to go in for quick trades. You don't want to go in for a all-in unless you see the option of actually finishing your opponent very easily. But generally speaking, you want to go for really quick and painless trades, and you want to do this by having your E ready. So you use your E and then use your Q. You need to stack up your Q to have your jump. So every time you have this jump ready, then you're able to go for this damage. And we'll try and do this right now so you guys can see on this dude. So I'm gonna stack up my Q, gonna get the first shot there, get the second hit here, right there. Now we're ready for it. As soon as we see him in our range, we can go for Q, get that, and we'll just go do a W if we can hit him with it. I'll just take that minion, still shove the wave, and I think we'll go ahead and we'll consider backing, because I have the feeling that Warwick will be looking for a gank. He's just been up here, or jungler died in here on an invade, so we're gonna be a little careful with backing out by ourselves or non-quiver. All right, so really quickly, let's go over kind of the pros and cons of playing Yone. So first of all, he's a highly outplay potential champion. He is kind of cool because he has this mixed damage, which means because of his passive, he deals 50% AD and 50% AP, which makes him very hard for the opponent to build against you, because you'll always be in a position where like if they build armor against you, like you anyway deal half of your damage through magic damage because of your swords. So it's very, very hard for the opponent to kind of build their items against Yone. And this is one of the things that make him so freaking strong. All right, I'm gonna just put a word down here. Also, he's what I would call an amazing skirmisher. Like generally speaking, with Yone in most matchups, you're actually going to be able to pull off what we normally call coin flip matches. Normally, I would say most 2v2s or 1v1s are kind of coin flip. But with Yone, if you're highly skilled on him mechanically, you can outplay most champions with him because his damage is actually insanely good. And he has these knockups and he just works super well into that. In terms of his weaknesses, it is that he is pretty weak early game. And this is what we're trying to account for. So when you're playing against ranged champions, make sure that you just kind of hang back, play super defensive till level 3. It's better that you lose the CS than that you actually lose out on that you take too much damage before level 3, because if you get poked down before level 3, you're going to put yourself in a situation where it's going to be really hard for you to actually do much against your opponent, and you'll be really on the back foot and they'll be able to keep you basically out of lane. So it's much better for you to just, if they're zoning you out from the first couple of minions, don't try and get that gold. Just make sure you're in XP range. That's the most important thing. Get your level 3, and from then on you can use your E in order to poke the opponent. That's literally the most important thing. Right here, I see that Cho'Gath is first of all pushing fully up. He has no mana, meaning that if I go up here, I'm pretty sure I can beat him straight up. We'll just do a little safety thing here. Get the honey fruit because I see this guy is in no hurry, and Yone is an amazing roamer. So we'll go over here. We'll use our W or E here just to make sure that we are in a good spot. I'm gonna use my ult in order to get forward, get my E in there. We should be able to still. I'm gonna flash, and okay, maybe a little too much. We could have used our ult a lot earlier and made that combo cleaner so we wouldn't have to use or flash. I hope that I could kind of make the play a little spicy, but yeah, you can just see even with the mistakes and even the poor play that I did there, like it worked out and we do insane damage, and he was just in like Cho could do nothing, mostly because he had no mana as well. That's pretty dangerous. All right, nice, he pulls it off. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna shove this lane, and as we do so, I'm gonna start to look for a gank bot side pretty soon. And because of the fact that we are resource less, and this is also one of the things with Yone that makes him so good, is that he doesn't require resources. And when I say resources, I mean that he doesn't need mana. So you can in theory stay indefinitely in lane, etc., as long as you're healthy in terms of your overall health and everything. So yeah, but of course you do want to back and make sure that you utilize on your gold. You see at this point we're 2-0, we're pretty strong. We have 70 farm, which is not amazing, but we have been quite a bit out of lane now. We're starting to look for more roams, and this is what you want to do on Yone. If you're playing against a champion in the mid lane where you don't really have any kill potential, or maybe they're playing so defensive that you're just not able to get those kills, then you want to start looking to roam. So you want to shove the lane. Then if they're sitting under the turret, you want to just go ahead, shove this, and then you want to start roaming to the other lanes. I can see they actually got beaten pretty bad down here. Okay, I think for this, I'm gonna go up here. I'm probably not gonna be able to catch this guy, but I will be able to catch this guy. I'm just gonna run this way. I might take a few turret shots, but I should be able to catch him. Okay, fair enough. Israel got him. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna take whatever is gonna die otherwise. Okay, it's already gone. I'll run back into my lane. All right, that was kind of sad. We used a lot of time just running down there for no apparent reason because everything was done before we got there at all. But we'll go back on up into lane, and I will just go ahead. I'll ward up as we come up here. I want to get my Q stacked up before going for an E. So right here, we get that one ready. One, this guy's getting range. Let's get that and jump back. And I don't just want to go directly for an all-in. Yeah, I could ult him here and I would probably be able to get close to him, but most likely I wouldn't have enough damage to just shoot him down all the way there. So it's much better for me to just kind of play it slow, poke him down a little bit, using my EQ. And once I've poked him down a little bit and I feel in a position where I'm able to literally just smash him, then that's what we hit. So literally like this, you can see right here now he's done. We jump back, he's gone. There's nothing he can do. Like, just there's no, and this is something I see pretty frequently on people that are playing Yone, that they tend to use their abilities too aggressive. They want to go directly for an all-in right away, and this is not necessary. You want to use your E and then go in for QW in order to poke your opponent a little bit down, and as you do this, you can start looking for the full all-in. I'm gonna be coming down here. I should be able to get, I'm actually just gonna zone in on this guy, and hopefully we'll be able to kill him right there. Yes, that's going to be enough. And I'm going to help them shove this ahead. I'm going to go ahead and back. And at this point, we can already get our Mole Shield Bow. We're going to be really strong. It's going to be a good power spike. One of the biggest power spikes when playing Yone is actually he's, as soon as he gets both, he's, let's get that one. And we're going to start building Infinity Edge afterwards. Is as soon as he starts getting both he's in Mole Shield Bow and he's Infinity Edge, that's where he really starts power spiking and he becomes extremely strong. And he's, yeah, as you guys can see, he's really fun to play and he's hard to do much about. Okay, so something I want to talk about that I think a lot of people mess up is their ult. So the way you want to use Yone's ult in general, especially if you're on your own, this does not include team fights. It's very different in team fight, or might be very different in team fight depending on the situation. But when you're doing 1v1s, you don't want to ult out of nothing. And what I mean with this is that ulting is, your ult is pretty slow in its animation and it's actually not that hard to dodge. So what you want to be doing is, in order to use your ult, you want to do get your Q stacked up, then you want to hit your opponent with your Q such that they're knocked up, they're airborne, and then you use your ult right away afterwards. This is going to keep them in the air, and this is going to ensure that they're not going to be able to dodge it. Anyway, we're going to start moving up here. I know for a fact that he has vision. We might have to shove another little lane actually before doing so. All right, I'm going to go down over here. You see this guy just wants to poke us. I'm going to get my ability ready. If he oversteps, we'll punish. He jumps away. It's super cool. It's going to buy us a little bit of time. We'll shove the lane. Now we run up top. I feel like we've been enough bot side for now. And I feel like I can get a gank here. I'm going to go behind because I just saw him ward right here. So we're going to go from the backside. I'm going to ping right here. Going to ping that he needs to go for him. And I'm literally just going to kind of zone back and forth. I'm probably not going to be able to get a kill here. I am going to use my E in order to optimize my damage. And we'll... Oh, crap. Okay, I messed this up. I'm going to have to ult in order to just try and do something. But we completely missed... Like, I messed this up pretty hard. We did take the turret damage. I went in too far. Okay, so yeah, that was a very, very messed up play. But it seems like Renekton might almost turn it around. If he gets a Q in here, he should be able to hopefully heal up a little bit. Very close. Very, very close. But my bad. I should have played that better. Definitely. But overall, I hope you kind of got the idea. But the thing is that he did have a ward here. And what messed up was I insisted on going, or kind of forced this play, even though or Renekton didn't engage when I pinged him, because their choke guys actually ran all the way up here, wandered a little bit back and forth, didn't know what to do before he actually decided to just go for under turret, and then I went in too far. So I should just have seen that Renekton didn't follow the play, or he didn't follow the plan that I set, and then I should not engage. That's what things kind of went wrong. And then I forced the play, and this is what happens when you force plays. So make sure that you don't really try and go for that. Like, don't force plays. If you can see that things don't pan out the way that you planned it, and you don't have the backup for your teammate right away, then it's very dangerous. You can see just how much I messed it up right there. Even though the initial plan was pretty fine. All right, so we'll water up here. And I'm gonna actually go for a rotate here. I'm thinking that I'm gonna play this assassin style here if we can. Oh, I'll jump away. I might actually be able to pull this off with a little bit of luck. Okay, this guy was a little too slow. I hope my knockup would be enough for them to actually back up around my play. But regardless, this is going to open up for a free Drake and a turret. So I don't think this is bad. Yes, I died. They did use quite a lot in order to get us down. And it was a little bit of a greedy play. But right here, if they don't mess it up too much, which could appear so that yeah. Okay. It didn't go according to plan, that's for sure. Anyway, let's kind of talk about how you want to be playing the mid game. So in the mid game, the reason why we're taking the Oracle lens is you want to actually start thinking, and this is what I wanted to try and show you guys. But yeah, some of these things do become a little forced when I'm just trying right away to show you what the idea is. But the basic idea with Yone is to actually, in the mid game, the reason why we take this Scrying Orb is because he is such a strong champion in terms of he's kind of, you can play him as kind of an assassin. And this is something you want to start thinking about. Okay, so I see I'm actually just gonna go top side. I don't want to share all this XP. I'm just gonna split push a little bit in top side. Generally speaking, split pushing is not what you're gonna do on Yone. Like, you can do it, but it's not perfect. But you do want to go to side lanes. Generally speaking, when your ADC and support goes to mid, then you want to rotate it down to bot or top, depending on where your top laner is. And this is in order to keep your gold up. Like, Yone is an extremely gold dependent champion, like insanely gold dependent. So you want to make sure that you go to the side lanes and you get your farm. I'm thinking, yeah, since they just took Drake, that I can push this turret freely and trade that objective. And that's kind of like in the mid game, your primary thing is that you want to make sure that you get turrets, you get Drakes, and you want to try to the best of your ability to set things up for your team and help your team out. And the way you do this is basically a little bit like we've done here. If we can see that, like right here, we couldn't contest the Drake. So what's the better thing? Like, we could go and do nothing, or we could go up there, take a turret, and just get a free objective. So you always want to, whenever you can't contest an objective, don't go there and take a fight that you'll lose. Go take something else to minimize the damage that you're basically, or minimize the losses that you're taking. All right, so right there, we'll get that one. I'm gonna go down. I'm just gonna take the Grump here, because I'm kind of waiting for this top side to be pushed in. Okay, so Udyr apparently really does not want me to take that one. Thank you very much for that, Udyr. That's very kind of you. Okay, so whoop, we'll be a little careful here. I'm gonna ult in order to CC. I'm in a very, very, very deep trouble here, but hopefully that should be enough for them to get him down. At this point, I'm not strong enough to kill, to get this Cho'Gath. And I think what we're gonna do in order to take him down, because I can already see now that this guy is the biggest problem for our entire team. We have a couple of different options in order to counter this guy. First of all, we could be going to Lord Dominic's regards. This one, or Lord Dominic, I never remember. Is it called regards? Yeah, it is. Lord Dominic's regards. This will give us extra damage against him because he has much more health than we do. And we're also going to get the armor pen, and this guy's already pretty fed. The second option we have is we could go something like a Ruined King. This could also work pretty well. This means that we're going to deal damage based on his current health. So we can go either one. And we'll kind of just sleep on that one for a moment. I personally, I feel like Lord Dominic's will work best in this scenario. So I think that's the way we're going to go. But we need to finish our Infinity Edge first. But yeah, as we were talking about here in the mid game, what you want to do is you want to rotate to the side lanes whenever your mid laner goes in here. So you want to make sure that you soak XP and gold as much as you possibly can. Then you want to be using your scrying orb in order like to look for rotation. So whenever you use, maybe you shop the lane here, this is actually really good even in the early game. Let's imagine that we're still in laning phase. We shop the lane and all of our lanes are maybe they're pushed, and you kind of just waddle down here, you use your scrying orb, you kind of look whether or not they have any wards, and then you try and find an ambush onto a target. So play it like an assassin, like you're a Rengar. You can kill these squishies, these ranged squishies, extremely easy. Like, they're super easy to kill for you. So this is something you really want to think about. All right, so I'm not going to be able to do much here. I'm going to just back out. We're just going way too far in. I guess in a way you could say that we're kind of to blame for this play, because this guy thought we were all inning, and well, we can very easily back off because of our E. I think this actually brings us to kind of an important topic that I think a lot of people forget about with Yone. And that is basically that whenever you use your E, especially as we get to the team phase, this can be like you can sell yourself a lot with your E. If you position your E poorly and the fight hasn't really started, then or maybe that you need to get away, then you will always need to fly back to your E. So be very mindful for like how you're using this ability. But when you're using this one, especially in team fights, wait for your team to actually initiate. Like if you have some hard CC, let's say a Malphite, a Sack, or something along those lines that jumps in and initiates and stuns the target, then wait for them to hit their stun before using your E and going all in. Because when you do this, when you use your E, if they just kite away from you, it can be a big problem for you, because you won't be able to follow along. Like suddenly you'll fly back to your E, and then you're really out of the fight because the fight have moved way too far away from your initial placement of your E. All right, so I have 6 seconds on this one. Can't catch that guy, and honestly, I don't think that we can beat him at this point right now. We need to finish this Infinity Edge, and then we'll build our Lord Dominic's as the next thing. All right, so right here, I think that I can actually just take out the entire backline. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to try and do our E. We got most of it, and we actually, even though we died here, we won most of this fight because we got both their Jhin and their Swain super low, and even their Corgi in a really poor position. So I'm going to see this fight as a win. I could have played it better, but it definitely, like, if you can kind of see the point. And I think for this, let's talk a little bit about how you actually want to be playing the late game. So Jhin or Yone actually has kind of a lot of hats that or a lot of ways that you can play him in the late game, and especially in team fights. So late game is of course all about getting Drakes, all about getting Barons, all about getting towers and inhibitors, and trying to basically win the objective of the game. And in order to do so, we of course have our team fights. And in the team fights, the way you can play it is quite different. First of all, you can play him kind of as a front to back champion, because he deals a lot of damage to basically anyone, and he's hard to build against because he has both AD and like magic damage. So for that reason, he's pretty hard to play against for the opponent, and pretty hard to build items against. So for that reason, he's of course super strong, and you can play him as a like kind of a front to back champion, meaning that you just try and kill whatever's in your path. Again, of course, you don't want to be the front line, so be mindful of that. But that's of course not the ideal. So the ideal with Yone is you really want to try and get to the back line, and you also have different ways of doing so. One of them is, of course, you can try and do it kind of like an assassin, like imagine playing like a Rengar or a Kha'Zix. You try and find a flank and then jump onto the target from the unknown. So you're trying to just find some position where they don't see you. All right, we'll heal up here, and I'm just gonna hold this guy back. As long as this guy's not there, our team should be fine. I think right here they're going to be in trouble because Cho might rotate there really quickly. He's somewhere in this and on his way. They could be rotating for Baron soon. I don't think they will. Oh, he's back here again. So he just circled around. Yeah, in team fights, you have different options. First of all, you can go front to back, kill anything in your path because you deal absolutely insane amounts of damage. That's not the ideal. The ideal is, of course, to get to the back line. Getting to the back line, you can also do that front to back using your Q or your ult. Getting this CC on, if you can get a Q plus your ult onto the back line, meaning their ADC and they're potentially their mid laner, then it's basically more or less a one engage for you. I'm not going to be using my ult unless this guy runs somewhere weird and we need to catch up with him, but he should be down. Nice. All right, so right here, we can rotate this for a potential Baron. We already lost that turret, so we need this wave to be shot, and then we can do the Baron. So I definitely think Baron is the right call here. The enemy doesn't have any vision. And apparently... All right, that's fine. That's fine. Overextending a bit. He has no vision. He could be running into a trap right here. If Udyr dies, we'll have to back off from this one because they do have their smite up. So even though he did get a kill up here, I wouldn't say that's worth chasing for unless he knew where the rest of the enemy team was, because this could potentially either make us lose the Baron or it could force us to just cancel the Baron. So I wouldn't say that's the ideal approach. Anyways, we're gonna get our Lord Dominic's or Last Whisper and start building our Lord Dominic's. As we get this one, it's gonna be a lot easier for us to get Cho'Gath down. For our next item, I think what we'll build is that we'll probably go for a Bloodthirster, like such a good item on Yone. We could consider some kind of like a Mortal Reminder or something because they have a lot of healing. They have the Warwick. They have the Corki that bought Immortal Shield Bow. So they do have quite a bit of healing also with the Swain. So this is something we want to think about. All right, my entire team is pretty much backing up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hurry up, rotate top. I'm going to shove this lane out. And this is going to ensure that they won't be able to push here unless like they're going to risk losing too much. So I'm going to go up here. I'm not gonna keep pushing, but I'm gonna stay somewhere in the area such that I know whether or not, like if I see 5 people down here, then I will for sure rotate. So I see 2 people down here, 3 people. All right, so right here I see 4, and this is my goal. So now I'm actually gonna go for a split push. There's no objective down there right now. Drake is coming up, but it is not the fourth Drake, so it's not that risky. And we have Baron buff, so I'm much rather utilize our Baron buff than I want to get a Drake at this point. So I'm going to push all the way and probably get an inhib here. Maybe even more. Maybe we'll even... I don't think we'll be able to end the game here. But we're going to get a lot of objectives down. Our team also won the fight somehow, which was amazing. And this actually means that it's very, very punishing for them. But yeah. In terms of the team fighting, as we talked about earlier, then you of course have these different strategies, but you also have one strategy that not a lot of Yone players talks about that I think is very underrated and something that you really need to consider. So let's say that you're playing a game where your ADC is super fed. Well, in this situation, it might actually be better for you to play I don't want to say a defensive Yone, but I kind of mean it. And this means that you want to be utilizing your Q stacks, your stuns, or your knockups to basically CC whatever's trying to get to your ADC. So you just stay back with your ADC more or less. Try and get, like, you want to stay of course a little bit in front of your ADC so you can get your Qs up. And as somebody tries to get to your ADC, you just peel him with your own knockup, and you peel him using your ult. And this is extremely good. Like this is highly underrated to like it's definitely something you should do and you should think about. So right there, this is another one. Okay, I was a little bit greedy, mostly because I really just wanted to try and see if we could get him down before ending the game. Well, let's get that one. All right, so this is a little risky. I'm gonna probably die here, but almost got him with us down. Okay, it was very greedy. I'm gonna be honest, it was very greedy. We'll get that one. We'll get ourselves a BF sword. Like at this point, we're really strong. Our farm is not amazing, but it's okay. Like it's okay. And like as you guys can see, he's super fun. Even though I'm not playing him in this game, like absolutely amazing. I'm trying to just kind of show you guys the basic idea of how to play him in the different phases of the game. And you can just see how good he can be. You can use him for a bit of split push. That's not the ideal, but as you guys could see right here, like we were sitting with a Baron buff and all the whole enemy team was down here. I don't mind giving up that Drake in order to push all the way in their top side. We were getting 2 turrets plus an inhibitor, and potentially we could go even further. So I didn't mind giving up this Drake at all, just for that. So yeah, you can do some pretty cool stuff with this champion. But honestly, I think one of the biggest mistakes I do see on Yone is that either people play them too aggressive before level 3, and this means that they just fall behind straight away. They never really get into the game. Or the second thing is that they forget to rotate to the side lanes. It is so important that you keep getting CS, you keep farming minions. This is absolutely crucial, because this is what's actually going to make you fed. It's not like you're not going to get fed by just getting, well, you could if you had super, like if you get a lot of kills, but generally speaking, this is not the way you do get fed. It's not by doing so. Like also right here, you can see we did a good chunk of damage, but actually what I was trying to do with my abilities here was I used my ult to actually get close enough to catch Warwick after Corki. So I could hit Corki with my ult, then Q to their, then Q all the way. Whoop, let's get that one. I won't be able to kill this guy. Holy crap, he's super strong. Potentially would have been better with the Rune King against him. Holy shit. That guy. Anyway, we'll just do that. Anyways, GG's. That was a really fun game. I hope you guys kind of got an idea of like how to play Yone overall. I think he's an amazing champion and really fun when there's a lot of space for kind of playing around with his abilities and getting super skilled with him. As you guys can see, you can of course also use your stacked Q, your third Q to dash away from a fight. So you can use it to fall back, which is actually extremely good. So yeah, really think about those things. And yeah, he's just really fun. Early game, play safe till level 3. Once you hit level 3, start trying to poke your opponent as much as you can. Every time your E is up, you want to go for an E. With or you want to stack up your Q, then go for an E where you jump into the enemy, hit him with an auto attack on your W and a Q, and then you want to just jump back, and you want to do this repeatedly until he's low enough for you to go all in. If you're below post level 6, then you want to hit him with your Q before using your ult as well. So you go for an E, knock him up with so they become airborne, then you ult him, and then you just literally just annihilate him, which is super fun. And for mid game, remember to rotate around and try and see if you can play him a bit like an assassin. So if you know you're playing against somebody that wants to rotate bot side, then use the oracle lens to maybe go to his bush, wait for him to rotate down there. He might think that you're already on your way to bot side, but you're actually waiting for him in a bush. Then you just strike him hard. He's not going to be able to win because Yone is super strong against all of these ranged champions, like ranged squishies. You're literally going to annihilate them. It's super fun and it's very frustrating for the other side. Late game, play around objectives again. Keep going to side lanes to push the waves out and get your farm, and then group up for objectives, drakes, towers, barons, etc. And then figure out which tactic works for this specific game. If you're not fed and you have a fed ADC, maybe just peel for your ADC using your stunts and your abilities. If you're super fed, you can, or if you're doing well, you can go for either flanking like an assassin, try and see if you can find the backline, their ADC, their mages, their mid laners. And if you don't have the option of doing this, or you feel like it's too dangerous, maybe they have something that can catch you trying to do this, then you just want to try and play front to back, meaning you just deal damage to whatever is closest to you and try and just stomp them damage wise. And of course, wait for your team to initiate, and be careful using your E too early, because it can actually sell your team out by you using your E, the fight moving away, and then your E stops and you fall all the way back, and suddenly it's a 4v5 and you'll have to wander like 15 seconds running after them. So yeah, make sure that you kind of be careful with that. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. And yeah, if you're already, or if you're new in here, make sure to go down below, click that subscribe button, join into our awesome community. And lastly, if you do want to see me live, then I actually stream right here on YouTube every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's pretty awesome. And we really like, there's so many kind people in our community. It's so chill and so fun stream. So make sure to tune in. And if you haven't already checked out our YouTube memberships, then go down below, click that join button, check them out. They have so many cool perks that I think you guys are really gonna like. And also, it is the very best way of supporting my dream, becoming a full-time content creator. And literally, they're super cheap. They're like, the cheapest one is like $2 and the most expensive one is like $8. So they're super cheap. There's a lot of cool perks with them, like priority on viewer games, etc. So yeah, check them out. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.